Okay.
Oh God. Oh God.
Well,
Okay.
welcome
Uh,
everybody to Corvus Twig's Bird of the Day. Now today we've got a very special bird. Special bird. All birds are special. So today's bird of the day we're doing here with Luna. It is the greater Coucal. Oh yeah,
Coucal.
such a pretty bird.
It's a very pretty
Very,
bird. It's
very
really
pretty
cool.
bird. They got black feathers all around there, the red eyes,
It's got
kind of
like a
chestnut colored wings.
wing. The bird is the beak is very oddly curved, unusually
Yeah.
curved.
But it's a very crow-like beak. And in fact, the greater Coucal is commonly known as the Crow Pheasant because it's got a lot in common with crows and pheasants, I guess. But they're a very crow-like bird in terms of appearance and wing shape and a lot of that, and their beak shape, and so yeah, they look a lot like crows. But they are not crows. They're in the Cuculiforms in the family Cuculidae. And you're
They're
like,
cuckoo.
yeah, that's right. They're a cuckoo bird.
They're a
Cuckoo,
cuckoo bird.
cuckoo, cuckoo. They are cuckoo birds. Yeah. Um. So they are called the crow pheasant, but in their native India, they are. And okay, so one of the reasons I picked this is because this is a bird. As you can see on the map there, they are very much native to India, but then also very much of the Oceania area. So your Vietnam, your Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, that whole area. Um, but they're very important bird in Indian culture, it turns out. And so they're okay. So one of the reasons I picked this is because Luna speaks a good amount of Hindi, and so she's now going to make fun of me because I'm going to horribly mispronounce this. But
Yay.
it's the Bhardwaj Pakshi. So it's
Bhardwaj Buck.
B
Okay.
H A R D W A J Pakshi.
Well, Pakshi is the last one is Pakshi, which is just Hindi for bird. Pakshi, Pakshi.
Okay.
And the last one, can you spell the other word for me again?
Bhardwaj.
Ooh, that's butter. That would be butterja. Butterja. So butterja because it's got an aspirated BH sound. So it's butterja bakshi.
Bhardwaj Pakshi.
Butterja bakshi.
Bhardwaj Pakshi.
Yeah.
Hooray! So
Hooray!
that's what they're referred to there. And
Ooh.
yeah. So they're about 18 to 20 inches long. So pretty good sized bird. And that actually puts them about crow
Pretty,
sized. Very similar
pretty
size
big.
to a crow. Uh, half a pound to about 0.88 pounds. So pretty light, but it's about typical size for a bird that big. Their diet is omnivorous, but they do end up eating more bugs than a lot of other birds. They really they're ground foragers, so they love to eat those worms and those caterpillars and other little ground bugs. Love them. And this is a species where, at first glance, it's going to be very difficult to tell the difference between a male and a female. They have the same feather colorings. Males, on average, are slightly bigger, but not by much. Not by much. So, again, similar to the crow. Very difficult to tell if a crow is a male or a female until you take a closer look.
With permission, of course.
With permission, of course, yes.
Yes.
Consent is very important. But yes, they are a member of the cuckoo family, which I think is pretty neat. The
Yeah.
fun thing is that cuckoo birds are famously known for being nest parasites. Well, they'll lay their eggs in another bird's nest. But not these guys. They don't
Little
do it.
psychos.
They don't do it. These are non-parasitic cuckoo birds.
Non-deadbeat parent
Um,
birds.
yeah, and so that's my first thing there. That's, non-parasitic, unlike other species of cuckoo. Um, and as I mentioned, that they're very much ground foragers. These guys, I mean, they can fly, but they're not the greatest flyers. They're not the trickiest flyers. They don't fly long distances. They don't migrate because, well, I mean, living in India, there's really not a whole lot need to. The climate doesn't change there significantly enough for them to have to migrate. So they'll typically live in pretty much the same area their whole life. Uh, and then their courtship, I mean, a lot of their courtship stuff is very similar to crows. and that they do a lot of gift giving as so they'll like
Aw.
give food and shiny objects and other neat little things they find. The males will gather the gifts and they'll give it to the ladies, and the lady will be like, "That's a nice gift," or
That's so
"That's
nice.
not nice enough of a gift." But they've been known to like males have been known to like chase females on the ground, and they just like run after each other. And it's like almost behavior that you see squirrels doing.
They're playing tag. Come here, you. Get on over here.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, they're it's kind of funny because in like crows in European folklore were seen as an omen of ill fortune, but quite
Yes.
the opposite in India. They're considered an omen of good fortune. If you see one, it's good. They're there, and if you see one that crosses your path, it's like yay, yay, good
Yeah.
fortune
Gonna
shall
be a
come to
good
me.
day.
It's gonna be a good day. Um, And again, so I think I'm gonna try and pronounce this. So in Hindu mythology, they're referred to as the Shakora or Chakora.
Is it H?
Chakora.
O-R-A, Chakora. Yeah, Chakora.
Chakora. Chakora. Chakora. And so it is said that these birds they will glide and sit upon the beams of the moonlight,
Ooh.
and that they, supposedly these birds are the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu. So when Lord
Nice.
Vishnu was reincarnated, he became one of these birds, and so that there's some people of Hindu faith when they see one, they'll fold their hands and they'll do namaskar when
Yep,
spotting one,
namaskar.
and
Namaskar is basically namaste. It's the namaste. It's
ah,
namaskar is the Sanskrit way of saying that word. So
oh, neat.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
so you see one of these, you do a little of that, and it's basically saying, "Hi, I'm acknowledging you, bird. I'm happy to see you, and we wish you good blessings." So very good. Oh hey, Bentai finally showed up. Thanks for showing up, Bentai.
Hey,
What's the
Bantai.
stream? Yeah, my favorite bullfriend. Yeah. All right, thanks for your raid, buddy. Okay, so yeah, it's a very pretty bird, and I think it's really neat that it's got such reference to it. It's just like this this bird is not a corvid, but boy, got a lot of corvid features, I think. And
Yeah,
colorful pheasant
it's
crow.
definitely if I saw it, without knowing anything about it, I'd say that's it's probably in the corvid family, but I
Yeah,
was just
I might
at
have
first
thought so
glance.
too. I mean, looking at the picture of it, but one thing that really strikes me is their bright red eyes.
Yeah.
Those are very cool. Yeah,
And
you
I wonder what the when with birds or with anything really, but with birds especially, I always wonder about the reasons for certain types of plumage. Like, why is this bird not just all black or all kind of burnished red color instead of just splitsies halfway down the middle?
yeah, it really just depends on which, if it's an area where there's a lot of predators and stuff, the plumage that allows them to blend in with their environment the best tends to have been favored. But in areas where the birds don't have a lot of predators, the feathers, that's where you typically got a lot of the big bright colors on males, because then it's the ones that were able to be the flashiest and showiest. Um,
Hmm.
but it's also hard to say because it's like, you have areas. It's like, around where I live, we got bright red cardinals, but then we also have dull colored, ground colored sparrow. So it's really hard to say because evolution does all sorts of crazy things. And so it's like for some population, maybe the brighter colors for attracting mates ended up being more evolutionary beneficial. And in some areas, maybe just blending in. It's hard to
I mean,
say.
this Kay says it's the reason is sex. But the only reason I question it for this bird is because both the male and the female are very similar. So it's not like the
Yeah.
male is like, "Hey, look at my pretty feathers." The female's like, "Yeah, I got those too, buddy.
Yeah, it's
I got them
very
too."
interesting because even birds that are, most, because like corvids, there's not a lot of difference between the males and the females. And I think that's true
This
for
is
most
true.
cuckoo birds as all. But then it's just like, okay, you have the Anatatidae, which is like most of your waterfowl. So that's like geese and ducks and stuff. So like geese and swans, not a lot of difference between the males and the females. But
Hmm.
ducks, big difference
Yes.
between male and female ducks. So it's
Yes.
like even within the same taxonomical family, you can have broad differences, and it's kind of one of the great mysteries of the world and how evolution changed. And you know, can we say it's just like, why is it like this? And the answer simply is because a long time ago, that was what was beneficial.
That's what
That's
worked.
that's natural selection. It's like there's not necessarily always a why. It's just that's just how they evolved.
I do have to say though, and this just occurred to me, this bird has the same plumage coloration as I have on my head.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it kind of fits. You know what? Whenever I see you walk by, I
Mm?
believe you're an omen of good fortune.
Oh,
And
thanks.
wait, resides upon the beams of the moon? Like
Oh,
Luna?
oh,
Oh my gosh.
Luna? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you guys, it's all
Ah,
coming together.
Luna, you
Oh,
are my Chakora.
I found my true form, you guys. It's
Namaste.
my
Namaste.
secrets have been namaste. I wish
Namaste.
I don't have it. I can't do it with my hands, and you can't do it with your feathers, but we'll you have to imagine it. Everybody's just gonna have to imagine. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah.
So,
If you say namaskar to people, you would say namaskar to like a priest or something because it's super, super epic formal. It's like heckin' formal.
oh, well,
But
see,
yeah.
I'm glad that, see, that's why I'm glad that you were around for this one, because you're able to provide me a little bit more of the background on Hindi culture that I'm not as, unfortunately, not as familiar with. But,
Well, and you are my go-to for bird wisdom, and
yes,
this is why it's important that everybody is when that everybody specializes in something, even if they think that it's not significant. It's because they're always going to educate somebody else. You're always going to find somebody that's interested and realizes, oh, I didn't know that, and then they're like, tell me more.
absolutely. And the sharing of knowledge and cultures and species is just so wonderful. Everything has some value in it, and you may not know it, and you just gotta. That's why it's great talking to new people and finding this stuff out. I love it. I
I
love
think
it.
it's important. I think it's also the most important thing for people to remember about birds is that they're actually dinosaurs. So, respect.
I
They're
mean,
dinosaurs.
okay, my opinion on that is I don't I don't think birds are dinosaurs, but they if
I
just because
know.
you evolved from something doesn't mean you are that thing. Because if that was
I
the case, then
know.
all humans you could say, oh, well, you're just small rodents because
We
you
are.
evolved from small rodents, so
Wait,
you're a
you
small
are. Shut up.
rodent.
This is fair. You're small defenseless mammals that cower in the dark
Although,
at the primordial beginning of time.
but but if you want to call a cassowary a dinosaur, I'm okay with that.
Cuz look at the feet. Look at the feet on those
Yeah,
suckers. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Dinosaur feet.
I mean, the cassowary probably is the closest living relative to something like a velociraptor.
That's my velociraptor sound. It's not
Wow.
very good.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
very sick.
it's well, if I heard that coming at me, I'd probably run away.
Yeah, just out of
So,
a abundance of precaution.
anyway, my final thoughts on the greater Coucal. I have to say, I really like this bird, and I'm really glad that I got to learn about this bird.
Me
And
too.
I think I give it pretty high rankings. I mean, I think this bird is pretty much up. I mean, I think I might be willing to enter it into the club of honorary corvids.
Ooh. I would be interested to see if anybody's ever done intelligence studies with this bird.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, a lot of their behavior seems, from what I've heard, seems to imply that they're pretty intelligent.
yeah.
I mean, the whole idea of gift giving and the way they build their nests
Yeah.
and the way that they, I didn't get too much into it earlier, but they are community based birds, and community based birds are
Oh.
usually a little bit more intelligence. It's like they mate for
Hmm.
life, but they, they flock up and they help each other out, which I think is good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. This was when we were discussing before this last week before the stream. Me and Corvus were discussing which bird would be a good bird for the stream, and there was one other option. I think there was another option that was put forward, but we settled on this one because
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool
Which
looking.
one was that? It's one that
It
I'll
was
probably
a
cover at some point too, because it was a
It was
cool bird.
another bird because this bird is because they said it appears in Hindu literature, but it's in reference like this is sort of
Oh
a
yeah,
bird that
the
people think is the bird from the Hindu literature, but they're not sure, so they think this bird is a possibility. But then there was
right.
another bird that
It
was
was
also put forward as
the
a
two-car
possibility.
partridge. Is what it
Yes,
was. The
it was
two-car
a partridge. It
partridge.
was another which you did partridges recently, so I
Well,
guess
and
it makes sense.
And I guess one thing I learned is that there's like partridge is just a broad term for medium-sized game birds.
Yeah.
So the
So
Chukara partridge is actually a type of quail.
yes.
It's neat. It's neat. I haven't done a type of quail yet, so I'll do that one eventually. Maybe next time we collaborate.
Yes.
Unless
Ta-da.
this one goes so poorly and you're like, no, I won't go with that guy again.
No birds ever again. I have a no birds
No
policy in my
birds.
beekeeping contract. It was Corvus Twig that did it.
Doesn't say no. You can do one bird. It says no birds. You're allowed to have one.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you see, now you're getting down to the nitty-gritty. You're getting down to the fine print.
I like things that are gritty and nitty.
I like to knit.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's gonna cover it for
All right.
bird of the
That
day
makes sense.
today. High
Hooray, thank
rankings
you for
for
that.
this bird. Thank you.